Very fitting that you got some beautiful flowers outside for your 21st, because this all started in your Auntie Molly's garden, and she's telling you should take those petals, leave them with her overnight.
Absolutely, it's always been about flowers, it's always been about fragrance. So the shop is here now 21 years, Paul, can you believe it?
Wow.
I started it when I was pregnant with Lara, and Lara is going to be 21 this year, and Mia is 23 this year. I can't believe it. And this shop has become like an institution in Greystones. So we've decided that we're going to make a bit of a splash and just put up the flowers, just to remind people that we're still here, because sometimes I think if something's there for a long time it becomes like wallpaper.
Well, that's it. When we spoke in 2018, we both sort of hit upon the idea of just how important it is when it comes to like a local shop, because obviously we're very much in a little and Aldi world where you can get canoes and you know, astronaut suits and everything for €2, and yet it doesn't do anything for your community. It just goes off to some other bank somewhere in another country. And there is that feeling that more than ever, especially with a town like Greystones, that the Main Street feeling is so important to kind of support it and be part of it.
I completely agree. If we want to live in a pretty town with pretty cafes and restaurants and shops, they have to be supported. And I'm very lucky. That's the reason why I'm here for 21 years. The shop is here for 21 years because Greystones people have supported us over all of that time. So I want to be able to thank them for that as well. So
now,
give them something pretty to look at.
Heading off to France to study perfumery, how do you pronounce it?
Yes, well, I studied fragrance design, basically.
There you go, that's
so
it.
How to be a creative designer for fragrance. And so that's how we start. That's why I started my own range of candles and diffusers, and we've got 14 different fragrances now. We've got a new one coming later in the year, and everything is made in Ireland, because I've always been, as you know, I've always been passionate about that. I've always been passionate about local employment, about a low carbon footprint. Even 21 years ago, when nobody was really talking about that, I was saying I'm not making my packaging in China, I'm making it here in Ireland. So every few months I go to a printer's in Dublin to press past my boxes when they get made for the candles and the diffusers.
So I'm just thinking, when you went to Paris and you would have had obviously like hopes and dreams, did you think it would be your own shop? Did you think it would be your own line of fragrance then?
Well, at that stage, yeah, because I started the shop in 2004 and I really only scaled up the manufacturing side of the fragrance business in 2010. I already had the shop at that point.
Right.
And I was starting to make them my kitchen table. So I wanted to understand how to do it better, how to scale it up, and that's why I went and studied
and of course,
fragrance design.
The fragrances travel around the world. They're available all over the USA and beyond. Is that still the case? I don't know whether you sort of, because I know you're quite particular about, you don't want it to be, you know, saturating the market or throwing stuff out there all the time. You want it to be that it's a special occasion, that people know where you're at, they can come and visit your website and all that.
Well, before COVID, we were exporting to the US, we were exporting all over Europe. But then when COVID happened, everything just shut down for us. The price of packaging went up. Well, not packaging because we make our packaging here, but the price of everything went up. But the price of transporting to the US, transporting to Europe, all of that went up. And our margins, because we make everything in Ireland and we don't charge ridiculous prices, so our margins were very low, so we couldn't export anymore.
Okay, and also now at least you avoided Trump.
Yes, well, I'm so glad I'm not exporting to the US anymore. I mean, we even did QVC in the US. They're still available in the airport.
Right.
So if you want to bring them with you when you're traveling around the world, you can.
And of course online too. You can.
Yes,
I should say I had a quick look this morning. You and both two of your daughters, Mia and Lara, have started up the Santon Collection.
Yes.
Very, very sweet looking collection, because I looked at your website this morning, beautifully put together. Was that a kind of a big kind of jump, or was it natural?
Well, for me it was a natural jump. If you're a momtrepreneur and you're bringing up two daughters who are looking at their mom running her own business for all their lives, then I think naturally they're just going to absorb it by osmosis. So when I said to them, let's start a new range, let's start something different, let's do jewellery and accessories, they were all over it. And Mia even came up with the name Santon Collection. She drew the logo. I'll just show you what that looks like.
Nice.
So there is, so this is, for example, a jewellery case where if you're traveling, you put your earrings and your rings here, you put your necklaces here, and you put other miscellaneous things there. This is a travel makeup case.
All right.
So, and as I said, Mia came up with the logo. So what the logo represents is the the two companies, the original company
Okay.
and the new. So it's like the parent and child
Ah,
company. So and
nice.
Santon comes from Banton, which is our
Right,
name, and
right.
Seaver is my maiden name. So she
There
combined the
you
two
go.
names and came up with Santon Collection, and
Nice.
you know, some lovely pieces of
It must
jewelry
be pretty.
as well.
It must be pretty wild when you get into that situation. Oh, here we go. Yep. Sorry. Nice. Oh, sorry. Good man, Otto. Good lad. Now, it must be pretty wild when you kind of consider that here's you as a kid wanting this kind of life, and now here's your own kids are sort of following in the same kind of kick.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's lovely, and
Yeah.
I suppose I was into manifesting things before I even knew the word manifest existed. I was always imagining what I was going to do and visioning it in my mind. So like 20 odd years ago, I was visioning the business that I was going to have, how it would fit into my lifestyle, how it would fit into being a mom and having flexibility and not having to travel into town to the corporate world anymore. And something that really gave me passion, because when I was working in the corporate world, I was marketing things that I wasn't passionate about.
Right.
But now I am really passionate about.
And does it feel like 21 years? Because on one level it's a
No,
blink of an eye, but then it's
no.
also that's a
Yeah,
lifetime.
It is.
You know.
It is. And I mean, sure, we've had a recession.
Mm.
We've had a boom. We've had a bust. We've had
lockdowns
a
and-
back
yeah.
up again. We've had a, and now we're talking at another recession. I'm going, oh no, I can't go through this again. Not again. I've done it before, so I know I'll get through it. But you know, let's not talk about the R word, because we don't want it to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Ireland, the Irish economy, because I used to be an economist.
Yes,
That's what I
yeah.
did before. The Irish economy is in a much stronger position than it was when we went into recession the last time. The debt, everybody's debt rate, the gearing rate in Ireland was really high back then. It's not now. People actually have savings now. Ireland as a country has a very high savings ratio now.
Right.
So we're not, if you go into recession when people have remortgaged their houses to buy a place in Portugal,
Yeah.
of course it's going to be a disaster, but it's not like that anymore. The Irish economy is in a much stronger position.
I suppose to wrap up, I don't know whether you dare dream of the idea that Brooke Shoals will be here in another 21 years. Maybe your daughters might, well, one daughter, you'll retire to Bray, get a seafront villa.
No, sorry, I'll be retired to, I don't know where.
But would you,
The Canaries and the
would you think of such things that
Maori.
this is a, you know, there must be a hope. In the same way that if you're in a band or you're doing any kind of line of work that you love, you'd like to think it's going to last beyond.
Yeah, well, I'm not retiring anytime soon.
Right.
Like, I still love this. I still have a passion for it. I still have a passion for the manufacturing side. And the very fact that I want to even create another business and another brand just shows you how, for me, I need to be interested. I need to have something to do. I need to be using my creative passion to do something. So, yeah, I think that people can see that it's a family business. It's a local business. We're all about, our values are all about local manufacture, sustainability, everything. So I think it should still be here in 21 years if I can find someone to run it at that point.
And we should say you grew all these flowers yourself,
I
right?
did, in my very own garden.
You were inspired again by Auntie Molly and said, okay,
Yeah,
I gotta
Auntie
grow.
Molly, yeah,
Well
I said
done.
I'll grow those. I'm going to pick them later and make a fragrance out of them.
Perfect.
Yeah.